Hi everybody, this is my very first attempt at a mini album, and what I decided to do, because I have the cinch, so I could very easily just cinch an album together, but I really just kind of wanted to try using some of the videos that I've been watching on, you know, different tutorials from other YouTubers on putting an album together using the Tim Holtz 2-ring binder and a cereal box. That's all this is. It's just a cereal box that I cut up and have made into like a little binder. And so what I did is I came in with some Liquitex black gesso. I've already gessoed the inside cover, and I wanted to use black as the base because I also have heavy medium weight black chipboard, but again, I liked how this process that I saw on YouTube, because it was, you know, already using something that's, you know, you're repurposing, and not to mention that it's already folded perfectly in the size of a binder. So what I'm going to do also is I'm not going to put this binder here in the center. I don't think. I'm still debating that. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm either going to go ahead and use it like that, or I'm going to put it here so that when you fold it, it's just, you know, it's just easier to... Not sure yet. I'm either going to put it here or in the center. Not sure. So I'm still working that out, but right now I'm working on the cover and getting it all covered up. And all I'm doing is going in. I've already, like I said, already done the inside cover. I'm just spreading out some of this black gesso. I want it really thick. And just going in and covering it up. I want to like a thick coat here because you got all this print you got to cover up. I'll have to go in with a second coat. So this is all dry now. And I didn't need to cover the whole thing with black gesso because I'm going to come in with this Chic die cuts with a view stack, and I'm going to cover the outside. Oh, that's still wet. I'm going to cover that, but you know, with the papers, I'm going to cut some papers down and put on the inside, outside, and so it really wasn't necessary for me to do that, but I think it's also going to help make this chipboard from the cereal box more sturdy by having those layers on there. So anyway, that's the reason why I covered the whole thing. So right now I'm going to go pick some papers from this, cut it down and adhere it, and I'll be back. I am starting to understand why a lot of crafters on YouTube don't do these videos start to finish on how they do these books, because I've already filmed 3 segments that I had to go back and delete because I changed my mind 3 times on how I was going to execute this. So, because you really have to plan this out when you're doing your covers, because if you're going to be punching holes to add book closures or any kind of, you know, anything that you're going to be punching holes in, you need to plan it out, because you don't want to have your inside covers done inside page is here covered when you're going to have stuff showing through. You want that to be the last step of doing your cover. So I think what I've decided to do is, because I'm going to have a book closure on here, I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Alterations. This is his hardware findings, and I'm going to use, out of grunge board, I'm going to cut this closure here. That's, you know, one of the pieces in this. And that's going to be my book closure. So I'm going to have a hole here and a hole here. So I need to plan for that as far as doing my covering here. And because I don't want the brads to show through from where the holes are going to be put and the brads are going to be placed. And then the other thing that I have to plan is because the spine piece that I'm going to stick here is, I've decided I want to do like a corset lacing all down the spine here. So I'm going to use my crocodile and do holes all the way down it to do that lacing through here. So what I did is I cut, just again, because I want to leave a little bit of a black border showing on these. So I'm not cutting them exact to the same size as the cover. I'm leaving a little bit of black border showing all around the edge. And I'm doing the same thing with the spine here. So, because I want some of that black to show underneath. And what I did while I wasn't recording is I took this Martha Stewart punch, and I believe this is from her Cathedral Lace series of stamps that she got. HSN had a Today Special with these a few months ago, and I got the whole set of this. I think it was called Cathedral Lace. But anyway, so this is a corner punch that I've already done this end. I'm going to come in and do the other end, punch these out. And because it's not an exact, come on. Yeah, this isn't going in there right. I had to come in and do a little bit of trimming on this with my little bitty scissors here because I wanted it to be, you know, kind of pointy like the rest of it. So I'm going to come back in and finish that up and then figure out what page I'm going to use on the back cover. And I'm going to come in with my ATG gun and just adhere all this down. And then I'll come back and start that next step. Okay, so I got my front covers on, front and back cover, and I decided that since I was going to use this center spine to put the Tim Holtz 2-ring binder through, that I would go ahead and line this with the center spine piece. I just did. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to think while I'm recording here. Okay. So I'm going to have holes coming out of the back. So I didn't cover this part yet because this is the part that I want to do the corset lacing through. So because there are brads that get attached to here, I don't want them to show through on this side, so I have to do that part first. And then what I think I'm going to do is come in with some other pattern paper, just like I did with this piece. I'm going to repeat this piece for this side and lace it. I'll go through that later. Right now, all I'm doing is setting this up, and I am not measuring anything. I'm just eyeballing it, trying to center it, eyeballing it, mark it with a pencil, and I think I moved it. Alright, I'm going to do this off camera because I'm going to have to fidget with this for a while, so I'll come back after I've got that done. Okay, so while off camera, I got the hose lined up. The problem is this foam was in there, and when I was marking my circle, I was having a hard time getting around that foam. So anyway, I used my Big Bite Crocodile to punch the holes in here because the regular crocodile wouldn't get in that far. So punched my holes, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the take off this foam. I can't remember if in the earlier segment I explained that I had laid the adhesive foam on here because I wanted to give this more stability. So I'm just taking that off now. And the supply, there's 2 brads that get popped in here. So I'm doing a lot of this out of the range of the camera so you can't see, but trust me, that's what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is come in here, line up the holes. Again, I'm sorry that you can't see this, but I've got to get it right, and I can't do it with the thing down on the craft mat or my craft paper here. Okay. Okay, got that down, pressed in really good. So yeah, it's pretty sturdy on there now. Okay, I'll figure out later. I really want to get some more stability to this as well. But I think when I laid my strip down here after I laced up that corset, the adhesive and stuff on the back of that piece is going to hold this in place. So I think that's probably all I'm going to do to that. So anyway, so that's the next step. I'm just going to cut another piece out exactly like how I did this one for this piece. But I've got to set all the eyelets in it and lace it before I do that. So I will be back with that next step. Okay, so I got that center spine piece done, and I used my centering ruler to go 1 inch all the way down. I marked holes and then came in with my crocodile, punched the holes, and then set the eyelets. These are 3/16 inch eyelets. And then corset laced this ribbon. And then I adhered this strip by putting score tape from top to bottom and side to side because I really wanted a strong adhesion. So then I placed this on top of the spine and set it in place. And now it is super duper strong. Like, this doesn't move at all now, and it is a very sturdy spine. So now I'm getting ready to go in with my hardware findings to cut out that closure that I want for this book, because I still have to lay my inside cover papers down, but I still need, now I need to go from this side working on the holes that I'm going to be punching in here for my closure for the front and the back, and then I'll get to that next step. But I'm going to cut this out right now and get that clasp decorated, and then I will be back. So I got the hardware piece on here, and I didn't do a great job. I had to repunch holes into this hardware piece because the holes were too small for the eyelets I was using in here to set this in. So when I repunched the holes, I didn't do a very good job of getting it straight. But it's not really going to matter, because when this book closes and the other piece is attached here, it'll go on like this and you won't even notice it. So not too awfully concerned about that. But here's the problem. I didn't realize, I just had to do a bunch of YouTube searches, and I didn't realize that when you use this piece, you need the Tim Holtz hitch fastener piece to go screw in here, so that this little hole here will catch here to connect it. Well, of course I didn't know that when I did this, so I had to go online and find them. I didn't realize they were discontinued as well. And so I had to search around for a while trying to find some place. I finally found a eBay store that had 10 packages left, and I bought half of them. So because I have this die and I like using this closure now, so I'm gonna want to use that a lot. So anyway, I have to wait for that piece to come in. It'll be here at the end of the week, which means I'm not going to be able to do my inside front cover like I wanted. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to lay my back cover piece on and start working on the album pages, because the first page that I'm going to do is a waterfall flip. And all I did on this one is I took this tea dye distress ink and just distressed the edges here. I cut the piece to go, and I'm not going to give measurements because this album is not going to be the same size, you know, on the ones that you put together, because, you know, I cut the cereal box down, but anyway, all I did is I measured from here to here and here to here, and then took off about, you know, 1/8 of an inch on each side so that I have a little bit of a border showing, the black border showing. So I cut this down, inked it up. I'm going to adhere it with my handy dandy ATG, and then I'll come back and work on the flip page. There are a lot of videos on YouTube about how to do these waterfall flip books, and the one that I really like is Catherine Krieger's waterfall flip book. And so I'm not even going to bother to go through how I made this flip book, because like I said, there's tons of videos already just rehashing material that other people have done. I took Catherine Krieger's tutorial. She's Life on the Scrap Beach. And if you look at my favorites, if you look at I have a ton of playlists on YouTube, and I have one playlist that is mini album tutorials and techniques. Her video is in that list, and my lists are public because I could really care less what people know I'm watching. So, so feel free to go there and check that out. What I am going to do is go through the construction of the first page in my mini album. That is going to have this on it. So what I am going to cover is how I made, and I'm going to zoom out now because I'm a little too close. That flip book was, okay. Sorry if I made you dizzy. That, yeah, that flip book is going to sit on top of a mat that I've already cut out of some other paper and stamped. I use a Tim Holtz Papillon stamp set. One of the stamps from that, I went around the border and stamped after I inked the edges. And I made it a little bit smaller than the base page that I'm getting ready to show you how I did. But anyway, I left a little black border, enough room when I cut this sheet. Inked the edges with some tea dye. Wow, the name is eluding me now. Hello, Tim Holtz Distress Ink Pad. And then I did the stamping. And this is how it's going to look. It's going to sit like that. And then the flip book is going to be attached to the top. And what I've done to the flip book is I've also made it where when I do finally mount this down, that's why I use this heavy duty score tape. I left an opening because I want to be able to stick some journaling or tags back here. So when I constructed this book, another thing that Catherine Krieger did of her video that I really like is how she cuts a strip, even though you're using a different color mat or pattern paper for your mat, because I like the consistency of having it all look the same going down instead of, you know, different papers down here. So I cut additional strips from my front cover piece here so that it would be more uniform looking. But so I've got all these set up where these are all photo photo mats, and then the last page is where I've got a little journaling spot. So, yeah, just in case I want to do some more journaling, I wanted to leave myself an opening back here for that. So, I've got a bunch of pieces set out to get this all constructed, but like I said, what I'm going to do is, first of all, go with you over the process of how I made this page that's going to go into my binder, because I wanted each of the base pages in the album to be a pocket page so that I can put additional photo mats in here. Photo mats in here. And again, I used these measurements to match the binder that I'm putting together, so I'm not gonna, you know, be able to tell you how to make the, you know, you'll just have to modify yours to match whatever, you know, size book you're putting together. So anyway, what I did is I put this to the side, I took my cutter, I have two just regular lightweight, this isn't even heavyweight cardstock, you can use whatever you want, but I took two 8.5 by 11 sheets, and I've got to look at my measurements here. So I want to keep the width the same. I am going to cut off some on the top though, so I'm going to cut this down to 9.5 inches, and it's just a 1/2 inch, 9.5. It's just a 1/2 inch higher than what my page size is, because I'm going to be scoring fold lines here. Okay, so cut that off. Then I took my scoreboard and I then scored this at 3/4 of an inch on 3 sides. The bottom of the page and both sides of the page. Whoa, is that right? Yeah, 3/4. No, I just scored that wrong. I think I did 3/4 instead of 1/2. Oi! See, I'm already messing up. Shoot, yeah, I did 3/4. Oh, that is what I wanted. Okay, sorry, I'm confusing myself here. I did want 3/4 inch. Okay, so 3/4 inch. Turn this around, do the sides. Okay. Just gonna fold that a little bit, put this way, grab my scissors. Okay, at the bottom of the page where you scored, all I'm doing is I'm taking both score lines, the diagonal and the horizontal one, on this bottom fold and just cutting this out. And I know you guys have seen this, especially people who put these pages together before. This is my first time, so. Okay, and then okay, sorry. And then, because I'm trying to clean up as I'm going. All right, then I'm going to just cut it a diagonal so this will fold up without leaving too much stuff on the sides. All right, then I'm going to take my bone folder because I want a really nice crease. And I'm going to go along that score line where I just scored that on all 3 sides here. Oh, I did that wrong. I put the fold on the wrong side. You're supposed to do the mountain side on the inside. Whoops. All right. Sorry about that. I didn't realize there was a wrong way to fold when you score, but I saw in a video that there is, so I was like, okay. Then fold this piece up. Perfect. All right, and because I want really strong adhesion, I'm going to use the score tape for this. And I'm going to do the bottom first. So I'm going to take my score tape just on the edge of the bottom here. And I'm going to keep these flaps down when I go along the bottom here. Probably should have used my scissors to get a cleaner cut instead of tearing it, but okay. And then do the same thing on each of these sides. Ay. Okay, I'm going to use my scissors because I want a clean edge. That's what I like about the score tape as opposed to the red line tape, is that you can just tear it off. But when you're doing something like this, I want more cleaner lines. So, all right, our last one. I'm just trying to get it as close to the edge as possible. Okay. Then I'm going to use the bone folder to just make sure I have really good adhesion before I lift this tape up in a couple of minutes here. Okay, so that is the front or back, whatever, it doesn't matter, part of the page. Now, I'm going to take my trimmer again. Okay, I gotta look at my dimensions here. Oh man, I don't think I copied my dimensions right. Because I have just under 7 inches wide. Because all I'm going to do is just cut this down to fit over the top of this. And I really didn't do very good notes for this part of it. So I'm going to have to just kind of measure this now, because I'm not sure what I did. Yeah, just under 7 inches. Okay, height should be 9 inches, but I'm going to just measure this just to make sure. Oh, good gosh. No, that's not 9 inches. This is 8 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So then cut the top 8 3/4. Again, I'm just doing the measurements for my book. All you're doing on this is just making sure your back piece is going to connect to this. Yeah, and see, it looks like I cut it maybe just a little too short. Doggone it. Alright, I'm rolling with it. So, alright, we're rolling with it. Okay, so I started with the bottom. It was just easier to line it up. So all I did is match this up really good. Okay. Get off the tape. Okay, sorry if that was out of range there, but I had to get it up close to my face so I could see and get that lined up perfectly. All right, and then all you're gonna do, I just did each side. And again, I'm sorry if I'm getting this out of frame, you guys, but I need this up close to my eyeball so that I can line it up properly. And it is. And now I can just do this side, this last side. Should just fall right in place, but because I had my measurements a little off, I'm kind of having to fidget with it. Okay. Then all I'm gonna do is come in with my brayer to give it a lot of pressure and make sure that it's very well adhered. Okay, and then there you go. You have your pocket page with no visible seams. And this allows you to put another photo mat in the center. I will be 2-hole punching this on the side when I get my page done to put in my binder. So this is just another one I worked on because I had already done that first one because I had to work through all the dimensions and stuff. Okay, so now I am gonna grab that, start building my page. So this is gonna be my front page. So I'm gonna adhere this down, and I'm just gonna use my ATG gun for this. I have a love-hate relationship with this ATG gun. When the tape roll is good and it's loaded properly and continues to load properly, roll out properly, I mean, I love it. But sometimes you get a real mucked up one and then I hate this thing. But I lucked out, this last roll that I loaded is not being problematic at all. So, alright, so I just went over that really good with the ATG. Get my print right side up here. Make sure it's my hole. Okay. Didn't want to put this on and have all the print be upside down. I'm going to stand up. Leave myself a little bit of border. Okay. Now that's on. Awesome. Okay, before I put this flip book on, I'm going to adhere the second page here. And all I did is, this is another page from the Chic line. I used a Martha Stewart, part of her Cathedral Lace series of punches. This is the only set that I have of hers. And, well, except maybe another couple that are just thrown in there. But I use that to put this little lace-like look at the top. Then I used my craft knife to cut a slit right here in this pocket, and to make a pocket, because when I put this on the page, I want to be able to you know, I want to be able to have a pocket for a tag like that. So I just cut a slit in that to make a little pocket. And I'll have to remember that when I'm adhering this down, because instead of going over the whole thing now, I have to be really careful because I want to leave this spot open. And I probably should just, yeah, I'm just going to do a little bit of extra tape with my tape runner here and then adhere it down. All right. Because I don't want to put tape in this section right here because that's where the tag's going to slide in. Figure out how I'm going to do this. All right. Go to like right there. All right. Better stand up. Okay. Now that is on there. Ugh. Making a mess. Okay, I just want to grab a tag just to make sure I can still get that in there, and I can. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now, the next step is, oh, I guess I should put this down in there now. Eesh. Again, like I said, I totally understand why a lot of people don't put start to finish on these albums as they're working on it, because I know I sound like a goober, but okay. Do the same thing. Stand up, because I really want to make sure this is centered. At least my perception of centered. Alrighty. And that is on there really good. I love that score tape. It is awesome. Same thing as red line tape, just super sticky. Okay, so now I have this set up where I can, like I said, put some journaling spots back there, tags, whatever. Okay. That's done and that's done. So I'll be 2-hole punching this on the sides. I think I'm going to set eyelets in here to go through the binder rings so that it'll keep it from tearing. So, all right, now the photo mat that's going to go here in the center of the page. I did the same thing. I really didn't measure anything. I just kind of, well, I did a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to see what was going to fit in there. And so I took some more of the black cardstock, cut it down so that I knew it would fit in here. And then I took my Tim Holtz on the edge die. It's the one that's plaque and postage is the name of it. And I wanted to have pull tabs on here. So I cut 2 pattern paper pieces from the paper stack. And I'm going to have this where it's like a tab at the top that you can pull from here. So I cut those pieces out, and then also just cut another couple of pieces out for photo mats to go on here. And I kind of wanted these to be the same, because it's already like busy with all the different patterns and stuff. But anyway, so I kind of wanted the photo mats to be uniform for each of the pages. So now I'm going to take my ATG, and set these pieces on here. Then what I want to do on this one is I want to make sure that it matches as closely as possible. I may have to go back and ink the edges again because there still may be some white pieces showing over from the other side, but because that's what I did. I inked all the edges of these as well. And this is a little off center, so even though it's centered here, the back side, I probably should have flipped my paper over when I ran it through the die cutting machine, but I didn't think about that. So now I have this piece that's just a little off center. So I'll just make sure that when I put this in my binder that this page is the one that faces you so it doesn't look so wonky. Because I'm not going to cut this again. I'm just using it as is. Okay. So now I'm going to run the tape on it. And this one, I can tape all over. Yeah, see, now my tape gun's getting all... Probably because I went too fast. And that's another thing, too. If I go too fast with this tape runner, it doesn't work as well. If you do, like, smooth, slower strokes with it, okay. Alright guys, I'm going to take this out of frame because I got to get this up to my eyeball again, so pardon me, but all I'm doing is matching this up right now. Alright. Here's that. I thought I was going to have some white. Okay, I have a little bit of a white edge. Okay. Now all I have to do is put my photo mats down. You sure do go through a lot of adhesive when you're putting these mini albums together, so I gotta stock up on the tape refills for these. I may be overdoing it too. You may not even need this much, but again, I don't know, because I'm not experienced enough and I don't have enough of these made to know whether or not that much is needed. Because I don't know if this book's going to fall apart in another year or two, you know? So I guess I'm doing overkill. I got a little messy with the black soot that I used to distress the edges, and I got a little, and I was like, I don't care. Photo will cover that anyway, but I kind of like the distressed look of it anyway. I say that a lot. I don't care. I don't care. But I guess I do care. I wouldn't have pointed it out. I'm a great big liar. Overkill. Maybe. Hey, we'll see. Find out in another year or two. This is my very first mini, so I'll find out if it was overkill. I hope I can find out before then so I can save myself a lot of money on tape. Okay. My photo mat is done. It is ready to be popped into my envelope page here. Like so. This is how it's going to sit. That's how it'll be in my book. And that's the back side of it. So I've got a little bit more embellishing to do on this. Not much though, it's pretty much already done, you know, done. I'm going to do a little bit of embellishing, but I'm going to put some more pages of this album together and go from there. So I am going to post what I've done so far to YouTube, just to because this is going to be way too long for one video anyway. And then I'll come back and start, you know, continue on with the putting this thing together. Thanks a lot!